So, yo, I'm just getting back from running my errands, about to go ride my Peloton. And I said, let me look and see what's going on in the news today. Because y'all know these days, I be like, if it ain't nothing real new to talk about, we listen, I ain't gonna even come on the line with y'all to give y'all some repeats, okay? Just because I be tired of talking about the same things. But we got something for you today, okay? A little something fun, a little something that irked my nerves, and a little something that made me go, Okay, so let's get into the Michelle versus Robyn of it all. Okay, let's get into it. Let's get into it. So basically, this is what's going on. Ain't nothing too. It's a little light. You know what I'm saying? But it's a good and interesting debate because Robyn and Giselle had Michelle Williams, who I think also has a podcast on the Black Effect Network. So, which is under the iHeartMedia brand. So I guess they were doing some cross collaboration. And one of the things that, they brought up, because Robyn and Giselle are going to bring up the topics. Okay. And so they brought up about whether or not Beyonce was supporting Chloe Bailey's album. Now, Chloe Bailey, you guys may know of Chloe and Halle. You know what I'm saying? For those of you guys who don't know, Halle is the sister that played the Little Mermaid in the most recent feature film. And then Chloe is her sister who has been focusing on the music. Now, Chloe released her album, and the folks were saying that the album didn't do all that great because, well, why didn't Beyonce promote it? Why didn't she post it on her page and whatnot? Why didn't she, help a sister out? But that's the question that Robyn has. She's like, well, why didn't Beyonce do that? And Michelle has to check her real quick. So we're just gonna take a little listen, a quick little peek deek. If a little talk, we're gonna talk about it if we can. Let's get into it.
Why wouldn't she support her? Or
Who said
promote
she
her?
didn't? Who said she didn't support?
Okay.
Well, right. So did she? Do we know?
Who said she did not support?
Do we know that she's
very involved?
Who said she didn't support? Who said she didn't support? Who said she didn't support? Just because y'all didn't see it, don't mean that she won't behind the scenes, as Michelle is about to say. The woman is helping out creatively.
And helping people creatively. Now, Chloe can write.
And what she also goes on to express is that for people that coming down so hard on Chloe and her album sales, she's currently booked for a sold-out tour. So perhaps once people start to see her perform on the tour, then they'll be able to see, hey girl, hey, let me go purchase this album. You know what I'm saying? I mean, do y'all feel like it's solely on Beyonce to make or break this, an artist? You know what I'm saying? Especially an artist that she's working with, when she's got her own things that she's needing to do. You know what I'm saying? She's doing all of the things for herself. She's got a whole Renaissance tour that I need to prepare for. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Beyonce should have been doing more to promote Chloe, or do you think that she's probably done what she needed to do on her own? In the back, in the background. You know what I'm saying? I just thought it was interesting. I saw it this morning posted on Broughchat. I also saw it was posted on Neighborhood Talk. So I said, this is different. This is nifty. This is new. Let's talk about it. Let's sink our teethuses into it. Okay. So now, speaking of Potomac, I'm gonna go ahead and get into this because, I mean, it's in the news, and I said this was gonna be part of the original lineup because I literally I thought about doing a video earlier, but then I was like, do I really want to talk about this? But, let's talk about Potomac. According to our friends over at the Real Housewives Zone, according to Dr. Wendy Acefo, we are in for an amazing season 8. She says it is lots of flair and fireworks. She says that of her returning co-star Mia Thornton, who threw a drink in her face, that filming with her was interesting to say the least, but she was up for the challenge. She says we're not all BFFs, but she did promise that we would get an insider look on the fractures within the group. We work through it, and you guys get a front row seat of that. Now, with regards to Robyn keeping secrets about her marriage last season, she says, it was an eyebrow raiser because she often questions a lot of us. We asked those questions this season. You guys get to see her response. I mean, I don't want to see it. I don't care enough at this point. I feel like we beat the horse down to the pulp, at that point in time when this was making the rounds. We had 2 quasi sit downs with Andy asking questions. And I don't know what more these ladies are going to ask her than Andy asked her. And I don't know what more non-responses we're going to get from her than she gave to Andy. Like, you think she going to give these ladies more answers than she giving Andy? Unless somebody said, unless you talk about this in detail, we're going to take your champagne flute, then that's probably the only way she going to get to talking. But otherwise, I don't really trust that we're going to really get the full details. And I don't even know that I want it no more. Because for me, I feel like this. At this point in time, if you don't want to live your life and your reality in the public eye on a television show, then by all means, go on with the wind. Okay? By all means, go sit over there. Because at the end of the day, that's what this thing is for. Now, granted, you ain't got to tell all your dirty little secrets. I understand that some things are going to be off limits, but you can't say to me that the reason you didn't speak about it was because you was expecting for Karen to do so. You was expecting a gotcha moment, which tells me that it was on your mind. You didn't just forget about it. It was percolating in the background. You just kept it a secret because you was shaking in your boots waiting on somebody else to bring it up. I don't like that. I don't like it. And so to me, further discussions about it, when directly asked about it, when we were all interested in it, you didn't give us any real responses. So what we've determined is you just gonna stick beside them, and that's okay. I'm okay with it at this point. I'm okay with it. Live your best, babe. I want you to do well and prosper. But in terms of us talking about this anymore, I could give 2 flying flips about it. Okay? Period. Now, let's move on, shall we? Because I got another situation that made me a little bit annoyed today. And I may not even keep this video up because I felt a certain type of way about really getting into the details of this 911 call with Kim Zolciak. But I'm gonna play it for you, and then I'm gonna tell you why I'm annoyed. Okay, so y'all just bear with me. Listen to it. I put the picture up there for a reason. Okay. But the site that you can listen to it in full on is on the Bravo Shade Room. Okay. But I wanted to cover a word. So just bear with me. And I know you can still hear it. So listen to the call. Here we go.
Are you there?
I'm still here.
It's super quiet. I don't know why. I just have a situation here where my husband is threatening a kidnapping because my girlfriend took my son on a play date. And now he has harassed not only the mother, but my son is shaking and hysterically crying. And now I'm just going to leave and just go pick him up to prevent this situation. I just don't know what else to do at this point.
Okay, can you
I don't
tell
know
me
why
exactly
tonight.
what happened? I'm sorry. Can you please tell the story again?
I'm sorry, what was that? I can hear you. I'm just going to put you on speaker just because my son, I dropped my son off. I live in the manor. I dropped my son off at the front gate for 6 years. They were going to the rodeo, whatever. My husband, we're going through a divorce, just came in and said that he's going to file kidnapping charges on her. And I said, absolutely not. I agreed that she could take him. And then he talked because he's crying hysterically on the phone. And now I'm going to pick him up and just to create any kind of further stuff that it's just, I did call my lawyer to ask him if it was kidnapping because I didn't want police to get in trouble. And he said it's not if one parent consents. And then my husband did steal my bag that has all my divorce paperwork and all my stuff in it. This is just so petty, and I hate to call 911 for this situation. I just was so frantic in the moment when I realized that he was gone, and at least I want him going to the house and doing anything crazy because he's known to do crazy things.
Okay. May I have your name? The police come to.
Well, I don't now. I'm just gonna I'm gonna go pick my son up, and then I don't feel like this is gonna be the end of it, to be honest with you tonight. So I will probably call you back rather than kind of go back and forth with this and the police. I'm just gonna pick my son up because he's very distraught.
Okay.
And then I will call you if I need you, which I'm sure he will be screaming and yelling, and I will need you guys in a little bit. I just decided to leave the house and just pick him up.
Okay. So, I'm hopping back on the screen real quick because let me tell you why I played you this call. Kim, these 911 people are not your friends, okay? They are not the psychic hotline, okay? These 911 people are on duty for emergencies, okay? And I know that emergency is sometimes about perspective. And from your perspective, this probably constituted an emergency given the nature of what he was saying. Because we talked about this last week, if you guys don't recall, when the news first came out, right? So to hear the call now and then for me to hear it's the I'm gonna call you back, girlfriend. It's the hang on the line, girl. I might need you one more time. Hang on for a second, girl. I might, cause I know he's gonna act up again. Girl, can I page you? Can I beep your 911? Call me on the cell phone. You know what I'm saying? Hey, girl, hey, I need you to just hang on the line for a second. Hey, girl, I'm gonna call you back. Hey, girl, no, they are not here for your leisure. The 911 people are here for emergencies only. The things that you and Croy are putting each other through are not emergency situations. These do not need emergency services. You two need to begin to behave like adults while you guys are living under this same home, or one of you needs to get out now. Get out now. Go. Get to stepping, okay? One of y'all better get to stepping, because let me find out. I know there is enough going on down to the Atlanta that 911 does not need to be waiting online for you to call them back, okay? There are actual emergencies happening as we speak, most likely. There is someone calling into 911 who cannot reach the operator because you are on the line with them about something petty between you and Croy. Grow up, okay? Grow up or get out of the house. You guys need to start acting like adults. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. And I wasn't even going to do this today because in my mind I said, you know what? I'm not going to play that call because I just didn't, I got to tell y'all the truth. Sometimes doing these stories, they just be weighing on me. They just be weighing on me like, I don't want to talk about this. You know what I'm saying? But because it's part of what I do in this space, I said, if I'm going to talk about it, I'm going to talk about why I really want to talk about it. And why I really want to talk about it is you are wasting resources, precious resources that could be going to someone who is actually in the community that actually needs help, that probably will never get it. Because these police are continuing to run to your home. For what? Stop it. It just boggles my mind. It boggles my mind. And my apologies. I meant to have this next story ready. Okay. Speaking of Real Housewives of Atlanta, Kim will be featured on the upcoming episode. Okay. So in case you missed that in the previews, because you might have been watching the BET Awards and watching JT throw a phone at somebody, you might not have known that, but now you know. So here we go. Speaking of Real Housewives of Atlanta, All right. The Jasmine brand reports that Claudia Jordan would definitely go back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. She says it was a great experience. Now, this was obviously during a red carpet interview, and she says it was a great experience. She says, I don't watch Housewives anymore. Once I wasn't on the show, I watched it 2 more times. Some people go on there and they make it their entire life. It was a great experience, and I still get love to this day, and I would definitely go back. Then she has clarified that no one from the network has contacted her or offered her a contract as of late, but she is here for the coin that the opportunity presented itself. All right. As you guys know, Claudia is definitely working. She says, I've done so many other things and I'm really loving my time, kind of popping in and out of the Breakfast Club in New York, films, producing, and I wrote a stage play. So she's got a lot of things going on. When talking about the real reason why she left the show initially, she said she didn't want to come back as a friend of the show, and that was her only option if she wasn't going to share her relationship on the show. At the time, the guy that she was seeing had too much to lose to go on there, and he was super successful and known, but she kept it very private like she usually does. And she says, good thing we didn't go public on the show. Turns out he was not the most honest. I can definitely understand that. I mean, I think that don't go on a television show with somebody that you are not certain that you want to be tied to you for the rest of your life. I mean, that's the God's honest truth of it all right there. I mean, you don't want to be, listen, because now if you don't know, she could be like, who dated who? I never dated that person. But if they were on the show together, I mean, that she's tied to him for life. And so whatever he does, she's tied to it. Furthermore, I actually really liked Claudia Jordan on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I felt like I know people talk about activating Kandi, but I felt like she activated Nene in a way that was just it was historic what went down between Claudia and Nene. And I just also think that what I love about Claudia Jordan is not only does she always stay booked and busy and finding a job, but I love how transparent she is. I love how, in terms of, when she's online and when she's doing her hosting gigs, she says whatever she wants. She says whatever she needs to say. I mean, but she usually says whatever she needs to say within reason because she's educated enough to know what the consequences are. Because here's the thing: everybody can say whatever they want to say. We have free speech in this country, allegedly. However, there may be consequences when you start talking reckless. Okay. But I feel like Claudia always knows what to say to make headlines, and she tends to stand 10 toes down in whatever she says. Personally, I like that type of person on a Housewives show because they're not so overly aware of this idea of being canceled. And again, like I said, freedom of speech, but don't talk reckless, okay? Because you'll find yourself in some positions. But I do like the idea of my housewives and my reality TV stars not being so aware of everything that they do or they say, that they're afraid they're so afraid that they're going to screw up, or the audience isn't going to like them anymore. I mean, obviously, don't be racist, okay? Just don't be that. I mean, that's embedded in who you are, not just something you say, right? But I mean, if you if you want to be a little sassy, if you want to be a little clueless, if you think it's 265 days a year, you know what I'm saying? If you think that somebody had to be driving the train, those moments make history. So I just feel like I sort of miss sometimes those days when we had housewives who just were there, and they were just saying stuff and you were just like, what the heck did she just say? And no, it wasn't racist. It wasn't it wasn't that, but it was that idea that they are fresh. You know what I'm saying? And they are here to speak their minds and speak their truth, and they do it in an unfiltered way. And that is what I feel like Claudia does, and I think that she does it well. I had a lot to say today, as you guys can tell. I am now going to leave you and go ride my Peloton. I will see you